What's up, Starcraft fans? This video is brought to you by Lucerna Sempiternus, who is supporting me in the Pulse Cannon tier. This month, he requested that I do Nexus Coop. So, as a Pulse Cannon supporter on Patreon, he has guaranteed that redemption. So, the redemption this time is to play as Ariel Hanson on the new map called Real Steel. Well, it's new for me. I haven't played it a lot. I played like once with Loco just to see what it is, and I didn't really understand what was going on. I was trying to grapple with how my commander works, so I didn't really get the map, you know? So today, I'll be taking a better look at that map, soloing it as Ariel Hanson with a special condition from Lucerna Sempiternus. His rule is that I can only use Marines, Medivacs, and Spotter Overseers. Top bars aren't allowed, but you can use infected spawn from supply building or when your unit dies. So the remnant infested from dead guys and dead buildings are allowed, but no top bars. So for that, I think my masteries are infested infantry spawn chance. Seems to make sense, so I can have more usage. Technology research cost, so I can get my upgrades faster. Yeah, I think the essence of the challenge is to really get Marines out, so I won't really spam out these booters. I probably should, but let's not. And then infestation outbreak cooldown seems about right. I don't know these. I haven't played Ariel Hanson a lot. I played him like that one Temple Pass or twice, but I don't really understand it anymore. Anyway, yes, the map is indeed Real Steel, so that's gonna be this thing, according to Intels. They should really get me to like spell check or something. According to Intels, Mobius Core is assembling some sort of gigantic strategic weapon on a secret space platform. You must foil Amon's scheme. I thought it was Mobius' scheme. Now it's Amon's scheme? By capturing this technology before they could finish their assembly. So let's do that. So after fiddling around in Nexus Coop, few tries, so we learned that we have to capture and escort the Prometheus. The Prometheus is a giant, like the Balius or like the Odin. It's like an NPC. The Prometheus is an NPC. We have to escort it all around the map so it can acquire parts and destroy the enemy. So the first part of this mission is, of course, the building part, or the build up part. We continue making workers. We harvest these blue crystals to get more money. The money counter is, of course, up on the top right of the map. You can see I'm mousing over it. That's the minerals, gas, supply. So I start the supply depot so I can increase the available or the allowable supply. So you can see I have 23 supply, the numerator, and the denominator is the available supply. So I want to increase that as much as I can, because Ariel Hanson, as commander, relies on a lot of army and therefore a lot of supply to actually work. So this infested space station allows me to summon these units, the special infested, and in this challenge I am only allowed to summon the spooters. So I'll make good use of that. I'll get as many spooters as I can because they're areas, they're detectors, and they're ranged, so they can actually help me out here. So I'm building this depot out here, this colonist hut, because the colonist hut, when destroyed, releases a lot of infested. So effectively, this is my static defense when it dies. So this is the first spooter. You can see it's airborne. The spine crawler here has no recourse. It cannot shoot back at the spooter, and this guy has free reign over the battlefield, or at least this part of it, where all the defenses are anti-ground only. And of course, the only reason I'm allowed to make these spooters is because they are detection, and I have no other means to have detection other than to build missile turrets, which is kind of lame.
Oh, look, something's coming.
So this colonist, you can see, spreads a little bit of creep, which is nice, but again, more importantly, it is my defense. It will anchor my base as well as my allies' base will be idling here because it's a solo. You can see this attack wave crawling toward my base. Sometimes it arrives quickly, sometimes it arrives slowly. The important thing is that we have something to defend it when it arrives. I tried to put up this depot here. It will help out. But if I can intercept it with just this scooter, it'll be great. So I use this guy to attack. You can see Nux is out here. Nux is the mission advisor. He will be the one who will try to control the Prometheus and maneuver it all around the map. So he's basically the Tychus in this guy's engine of destruction. So you can see this apparatus right here will install the Prometheus onto Nux. You can see it's assembling the mechanical chassis that will become the Prometheus, and is now awaiting Nux inside. And for the meantime, I've built up my infrastructure here. I have more depots to increase my supply even more, and this upgrade, or this structure, the engineering bay, will allow me to get upgrades to improve the fighting ability of my forces. And this infested space station also has upgrades to increase the infestiness of my guys, which will damage the enemy. It just increases my damage. It's just more upgrades. You don't have to think about it too much. It's just more upgrades to make my guys even better. I am gonna take my allies base because it's a relatively new map, so I need all the advantages I can get. I haven't played this map a lot compared to the actual co-op map, so I don't really know this map a lot yet. So I'm trying to get myself as much of an advantage as possible. This attack wave will attack this Prometheus right here. The good news is I did build another colonist hut, which you can see does release a few infested and, more importantly, tanks damage for the Prometheus. Although in its defense, the Prometheus does need a lot of tanking. You can see it heals itself and has 3750 health. That's a lot. It has started to move. It will attack this spot right here. We'll try to get the next part. And to escort the Prometheus, I have only this Spooter so far, but help is on the way. The combat headquarter has completed. I'm using it to make Medivacs, and I will later use it to make these Marines. The Marines will be the bulk of my force. That is actually what I'm allowed to make. And I'm pumping them out. You can see 2 at a time, but that's not nearly enough for 3 base worth of economy. So I've built a second infested combat headquarters, a second barracks, so I can get even more infantry. You can see I'm now pumping them out on the top left on the production tab. You can see I'm making 4 Marines at a time. You can see now 2, and they are charging forward. You can see when they die, they spawn these dudelings, which do help out. Ooh, banelings deal a lot of damage, but when my infantry dies, they will still spawn those dudelings, which will still be helpful. You can see once again, I'm producing 5 workers at a time to increase my income even more. I've captured this weapon, returning to base now. So this the Prometheus' job at the moment is to collect parts. It's like the Balius in Part and Parcel, except instead of relying on you to collect the parts, the Prometheus does its own collecting. So it's not even as bad as Part and Parcel. Next we have an attack wave. You have to intercept that. A lot of Zerglings. You can see my Marines have grenades, so that's pretty neat. It actually has the ability to remake its own grenades, so that's pretty neat. You can see with the medics, the Marines will be able to out-heal or heal over time and boost toward hotspots where they are needed. Now they just start shooting. So bonus objective is spawned. You can see on the lower left part of the screen there's a yellow triangle, which indicates that a bonus objective is waiting for me to complete it. So what I will do is make my way toward a bonus objective. Lucerna Sempiternus did indicate that the bonus objective is actually optional this time, but for your guys' benefit, since I'm sure a lot of you have not even seen this map before, I might as well do the bonus objective. You can see the spooters again being detection, and more importantly, they have 500 health each, so they will serve as fantastic anchors, effectively capital ships for my army. They don't deal a lot of damage, but they still anchor pretty well by absorbing a lot of said damage. And also, by clumping up like this, they can concentrate their firepower and present themselves as a combined unit of 5 guys. And of course, under that, my main damage dealers are still the Colony Guardians, the Marines. They are still pushing forward. They are still dealing a lot of damage. I focus on Ultralisk. Focus on the other Ultralisk. You can see it does take a lot of damage quickly. That is because I have been securing my upgrades. You can see a +2 attack is researching from this engineering bay. I just have that in the control group right here, so I can have that roaring away without the need to look back at it. You can say I've almost made all the way to the bonus objective. It's this beacon right here. Order an enemy or order a unit to stand upon this beacon to activate it. So control authorization acquiring. I'm basically activating this bonus objective. So now I have to defend this terminal for about a minute until it activates. And that will allow me to receive these attack waves. You can see there's a Leviathan here alongside an attack wave, so I have to push and defeat that attack wave to succeed in securing the bonus objective. Meanwhile, the main objective, the Prometheus, is moving into its next target. This spot right here is a little bit defended, so we have to escort the Prometheus a little bit. And then you can see there's another attack wave here. This attack wave this time is not out to destroy my base. Instead, it is capturing this equipment right here. So we have to prevent the enemy from capturing the equipment. Otherwise, we will... Well, if they capture too many equipment, we will fail the mission. As far as I know. I don't know what happens yet. I haven't actually lost. I just quit when I had to retry. But with the stim, the enemy's Odin goes down pretty quickly. Another Odin right here by the enemy. An enemy Prometheus versus our Prometheus. And you can see that our Prometheus is won with the help of the spooters right here. The spooters again provide me with a quasi-capital ship. It doesn't have the damage output of a capital ship, but it has the health. And that actually allows me to concentrate my firepower right here in this small area right here. You can see 13 of these spooters deal a little bit of damage each, but together they deal tremendous damage combined. This hybrid trying to storm, it does succeed in storming, but you can see that with the amount of economy I have 3 bases worth of income. All these blue crystals are being churned out into more army, and now it's all marching toward the center of the map to my location. You can see another red dot. An attack wave is on the way. They will try to capture this point right here, so I will stop them. I actually, instead of waiting for them to just come to me, I've decided to just march out and meet them head on, because in my mind, the earlier intercept them, the earlier I can free them up to do other things if need be. So I don't want to just wait until this Odin or this enemy Prometheus arrives at this point, because I will also have to intercept this other Prometheus along with this hybrid attack wave. The logic is, instead of idling my army around here, waiting for the Prometheus, I push forward, intercept Prometheus, so I can buy myself some more time to run back to this other Prometheus and destroy it as well. And you can see that plan is paying off dividends. Both Prometheuses have been destroyed, and the terminals are safe. See, our Prometheus is on the way. It is walking right here. It will activate. Actually, it has already collected. So it has collected the parts already starts heading back to base. So it's kind of like the Balius, except it doesn't just fly back, it walks back to its location. You can see I'm now producing Marines 4 at a time. That is because I actually have 2 production structures right here, 2 more right here. I think I have, yeah, 2 more right here, actually 3 more right here. So that's about 7. And each of these buildings can produce 2 at a time. So 2 by 7 is 14. So that's how I can make 14 at a time. And now I can stay consistently at the maximum supply. I've sent these infantry forces to clear out the north, the second bonus objective. The interesting part of these bonus objectives here, they don't give me EXP because Nexus Coop is a game where you can set your mastery levels to the max. In fact, it assumes you have the max mastery level. So, in return, the bonus objectives give you advantages on the map. You can see earlier, the advantage it gave me is the option to switch off the bridges, essentially close the bridges to prevent the enemy from capturing or from passing through the bridge. But I opted not to close the bridge because my own forces will need to walk across. So I opted to keep the bridges open. You can see another attack wave dropping right here. That's actually a pretty big attack wave, which is why I've set my entire army, basically my entire army. I'm actually now to 20 of these spooters. Now that is a veritable, actually I have even more. That's about 27. 27 spooters. It's a whole fleet on its own. A fleet of capital ships. It's even more than Mass Tempest, for example. So yes, the spooters don't really cost money or supply, they just cost energy from the space station. It just generates more energy over time and allows me to call on more and more of these spooters, and they are not timed. That's pretty neat. And you can see with the second bonus objective complete, I have stood there for long enough and protected it. These gun turrets have come online. They have 2,000. They actually literally have the turret interface or the turret wireframe, and they will shoot at enemies that try to walk through there. So that's pretty neat. Meanwhile, my main army pushing through the map, just cleaning out this base, and then walking to the next one. It's actually slowed down a little bit. It's a pretty busy map because it's huge compared to the regular co-op maps. So even my computer is slowing down. I wonder if it's time. I wonder if it's calling to me to upgrade my PC. I don't think upgrading will actually fix this frame rate issue. My CPU is an Intel 8700K. It's not exactly old. Well, it's not exactly new, I should say. But it still runs co-op mostly fine. I wonder if it's telling me, it's calling to me to upgrade my system. I don't think I need to. I could be wrong, but I don't think I need to upgrade my system. But we shall see. I might want to slow down the game speed though, because it's getting harder and harder to see what's going on. If I slow it down like this, is the action easier to see? A little bit. It is still framey, but a little bit more visible as to what's going on. This Medivac just flying to its death. But the good news is my forces are here to avenge that Medivac, and now I have 42 of these overseers or these spooters to just whack down that enemy. It actually is a fleet now. Even if it's a regular ship, it's still a fleet of 42 ships is still incredible. It is still quite impregnable. Not impregnable, but quite formidable. It can tank 500 health each, so it's gonna take a lot. So much firepower to bring these things down. And that's why the only threat now on this map is the enemy capturing the terminals. You can see this defense turret now has 11 kills. That is great. 3 kills, that's fine. Any kill is a good kill. especially with this hybrid trying to derp around. The turret earned its 4th kill, a hybrid kill. That's great. Another Prometheus of the enemy. You can see it's trying to capture this spot right here, but I just destroy it quickly, so it is not a concern. Another enemy Prometheus. We have to stop this one, and I have to scramble my army. You can see why I chose not to lift the bridges. That will allow my forces to respond more quickly, because they are also ground-based. If I were air-based as an army, maybe it'll be worthwhile, but it is not this day. Now I'm up to 45. That's crazy. 45 spooters. Look at that. Look at that carnage. Even if each of these spooters only does about 20 damage, 20 by 45, that's 900 damage in a single volley. That's tremendous. That's so much damage. And now I have acquired the 3rd part. You can see the equipment counter is a 2 out of 3. Once this Odin or this Prometheus walks all the way back to base, it will go up to 3 out of 3 and will complete this part of the mission. After this part, the next part will be to defeat a big wave of enemy Prometheus, enemy Odins, and then we win the game. Find myself a little bit of downtime, and I thought, well, this is as good a time as any to push out into the enemy base and clear it. These guys don't stand a chance against this many spooters. There's actually not even any hope for them to actually beat me. The only thing they can hope for is to delay me, which they kind of did a little bit. But with that, I have achieved a full clear of this map, and now all I'm doing is waiting on the last objective to manifest itself onto the field, so I can fight it and end the game. And yeah, the challenge is only Marines, only Medivacs, and only spooters. I think the spooters might have tipped the scales too much in my favor. I'm not sure, but I think the sheer number of spooters I'm able to summon, and each of them have 500 health, I think it's a huge game changer. Also, the fact that I'm allowed to take my allies expansion beyond 3 base, that just completely opened up my option of just overwhelming them with sheer Stukov-ish numbers. I guess Stukov the enemy, essentially, without being actually Stukov. Now, the final battle approaches. We have to defeat 4 prototype mech of the Mobius, 4 Prometheuses, using our own Prometheus, and of course my Bioforce. Now, my goal here will be to try and delete the Promethei before our own Prometheus makes it. It'll be interesting. See, there's 4 of them dealing tremendous damage, but anything I lose, I just instantly replenish. I just attack, move inside, summon more spooters, and just attack, move, just crash the big armies into each other, wait for the game to end, and actually our own Prometheus is almost here. Well, that's close. Our own Prometheus joins the battle to see us basically winning already. He's just kind of a glorified victory cigar at this point. He did fire a few rounds at that Prometheus. He did help a little bit, but you can't shake the feeling that he just was kind of there. He did do the bulk of the work, not by any means, but yeah, I can see this map being in the actual co-op rotation. I'm not judging this map because that's something I'm objective, but if I were to do that, I think this map can make the co-op roster. It just needs to be less laggy. Maybe shrink this map a little bit, make it less laggy, and I don't know. I think the base is kind of difficult to secure. You need to actually push in there, but it doesn't matter anymore because we have claimed victory. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have any idea for what else you can do, please leave that in a comment. I'll see you guys next time.